Hey everyone, welcome back to the Music Matters Night podcast. I'm your host Brian, and joining me today is a special guest hailing from the UK, Andy Fraser from the rock band, the Fraz band. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, good to meet you, Brian. How are you today? All right?
Not too bad. Computer's going a little bit slow, so it's a good way to kick off the weekend, to be honest. So
Yeah, modern technology, eh?
apparently, yeah, but here we are. It's all good to be here too. So how you been recently? What's new?
Yeah, well, what have I been doing today? Band practice today. We're getting ready for our first gig of the year. So it's all battle stations at the moment, as it were. So all load of fun, being creative. Great.
You say your first show. You haven't done one. I guess, did you start doing shows like after they started lifting restrictions on COVID and everything?
Yeah, we've been doing quite a few shows after COVID, but it's going to be the first one of 2024. So we're just trying to reinvent ourselves, spice it up a bit and playing different material. So, yeah, just trying to put a different spin on what we usually do before, really. So it's a different show for the guys to see.
All right, sounds good. But you'll get to elaborate your music just a little bit here too. But
Sure.
Andy, which part of the UK are you hailing from, actually? Because I interviewed a lot of people out of the UK already, so I'm taking it over slowly but surely.
Yeah, I'm in a town. I live in a village just outside of Peterborough, which is probably about an hour away from London, to be honest with you. So yeah, not too far. But I live in a very quiet village now. So yeah, it's good.
Does it feel like a spring day out there? Because it feels like spring all the way out here, and it's still February.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's actually it's lovely out there, to be honest. Yeah. We haven't had any snow or any bad weather at the moment, so it's great.
That sounds pretty cool. And we get to elaborate a little bit more on your music here, but I guess, Andy, I want to welcome you to my podcast. And the way this is going to work is I'm just going to ask you some questions. We get to know you more both as a musician, but also as the individual too. So got the
Perfect.
questions right here. Ready to roll?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
All right. So start with you in general, I guess. Who are you? And I guess, how did you form the Fraz band and become a musician?
Okay, that's quite an interesting question, really. So, how I really got into music originally, I have to blame my father and Queen, really, because my father used to play Queen Live Killers album, Night at the Opera, and I kept listening to it. I thought, this is outrageous. What is this? And then I started getting into it, and it's like I had to play guitar like Brian May and sing. Well, try to play guitar as well as Brian May, and vocally, I thought Freddie Mercury was amazing. So that's what really got me hooked. So as soon as I listened to those two albums, I started to learn Queen songs and sort of developed and then learned other artists and things like that. So that's how I got into music. So yeah, my father playing Queen songs and that's pretty much it, really. That's what got me picking up the piece of wood in the first place.
Yeah, I guess. Did you do it all through school and up to university as well?
Yeah, exactly. I think I was probably about 10 when I started, and I was practicing all through school and all through, college and university. Yeah, and I've just been playing in bands ever since, really. I was semi-professional at one point, so that was quite fun. And then I calmed it all down and I retired sort of thing, but music just draws you back in, doesn't it? I need it. So, yeah, I can't leave it, unfortunately.
That's pretty cool. And actually, they have a good number of influences to choose from because you had the British invasion with the Beatles and the Stones way back in the 50s and 60s. And, of course, they kept developing with Ozzy and all those other guys who just came through. Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, all those guys. So
just rolling on, didn't it? It was brilliant. Yeah. We're very blessed to have those bands, yeah.
Absolutely, too. And I guess go ahead and talk about the Fraz band, too, I guess. Have you been a part of, like, numerous other groups? And then you just kind of formed this one?
Yeah, so I've been in groups since I was, probably about 14, 15, that sort of age. So I've played in quite a few different bands. So my nickname is Fraz. My last name is Fraser. So we've, play on words there. Why I've got the Fraz band is because I wanted to... Even bands always dissolve over time for whatever reason. I wanted to continue my music. I didn't want to keep writing new music, even though I do. I want to perform my old songs. So I thought to keep the longevity of my music, I thought I'd develop the Fraz band. We might have a rotating lineup when people leave. So it's got that continuation. That was the ethos behind that, really.
I guess explain to the audience like how you describe the Fraz band too, because I think I was checking your music out on Facebook, or not Facebook, but also on Spotify as well. And they kind of gave a long description of like how the whole idea was conceived too. It seemed like if somehow you had some sort of monster who just made love to Jimi Hendrix and the Who, this is what the Fraz band was, or something like that.
Yes, it was if Slash met Jimi Hendrix and had sex with a Marshall amp, it would create a monster, and out of it would come the awesomeness of the Fraz band. To be honest, I think we had too many drinks and we was having a laugh with that at the time. So it was just a full lads being a bit silly, and that's how we come up with that, to be honest with you.
See that? I want to be on what that guy's having. So
yes, or not, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, no, that was just a little bit of fun. That was, yeah. And it's
one night stand would be nice, yeah. So
yeah,
that'd be nice. So I guess, is it just you strictly, or I guess how many people are in your group altogether?
Yeah, it's 4 of us. So there's me. So I play like lead guitar and vocals. We've got Mike on bass. We've got Dean on guitar and Jack on drums. Yeah.
I guess, have you guys been friends for a good while and you just formed this whole group together, or I guess have you guys been jumping around to various groups, I should say?
Yeah, I'd say the other guys were more bedroom musicians before I met them, and then I just got them on this crazy train. I've known Dean. I used to work with Dean, so I've known him for probably about 10, 15 years. Mike, and again, I worked with Mike. I've probably known him for about 4 or 5 years. And then Jack, I've only just recently met. He's a relative of Dean. So I would say they're all quite bedroom musicians. And then I thought, let's get this band going. And then we all joined together. And it's like, yeah, we made quite a good noise, to be honest with you. So it's quite surprising. It was really, really good. And it clicked straight away. We did a few shows, and the reception, people were really receptive to us. So yeah, it was really positive. So yeah, we've been doing it for a few years now, and it's been pretty good.
I guess, how is the music scene in your neck of the woods? I guess, do you also do some shows in London?
Yeah, I would say where I am, it's kind of quiet. We've got there's a place called Stamford, which isn't too far from here. That's got quite a live, buoyant scene. So I'd say you'd have to travel about 30 minutes up to an hour to get where the good gigs are, where the vibrant scene is, to be honest with you. Yeah, we do play London as well. Yeah, every so often. Yeah, fill up the van and go down there. So yeah, it's fun. And we mainly I think we're in the position where we can cherry pick the gigs, where you can play like some festivals, things like that. We do quite a little charity work as well, which is fun as well, giving something back as well, which is great.
I was just kind of curious, like, how bad. I guess we'll start off first with this question, and we'll get back into this whole thing with the music scene as well. But
yeah,
I guess, how bad did COVID impact you in the band, and then also your personal life and family? Yeah,
that was quite shocking, really, because it was. We've never seen anything like it. So obviously we couldn't practice, we couldn't play gigs. We were just isolated. So as a band, it had to stop. We could practice individually, but not as a group in person. So that was it was very restrictive, to be honest. Personally, it was quite tough. Me and my wife, Natalie, we just had a baby, and so he's probably about 5 or 6 months old. So we all had to work from home. I had a newborn there crying. I had to work to do. I'm in the construction industry. I'm an estimator. Oh, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible, to be honest with you. So I lived and breathed work in my front room, as it were. And it was tough. It was tough. I think it mentally drains you. But what I found to cope with that, I took my son out. Once I finished work, we went for a walk for about an hour and a half, looked at some animals, and then just come home. Very simple, but it just gets you out of the house and out of those 4 walls and things like that. So yeah, you have to do a lot of adaptation, really.
It gets a man-made prison, whatever you think about it too. So
yes, exactly that. Yes, definitely.
I guess. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and I say when it was musically, when the restrictions started to get lifted, we did some social distance practicing. We did a social distance gig in my friend's back garden as well, because he's got quite a big area. So we just made the best of a bad situation. And then we did some live shows on Facebook Live or social media live, whatever it was at the time. So we just adapted until the restrictions were fully lifted before it was business as usual.
I guess, how did you do the whole thing live on social media? Was it like the Facebook Live, or was it like doing like YouTube live streaming and stuff like that?
Yeah, it was Facebook Live. Yeah, so we just put the camera up and just rolled with it. Yeah, that's the best we could do, really.
I guess, how did it work? Did you just like put like one little iPhone, like this little stand right here, and then you just have it right there in the middle, and we all just play?
Yeah. You've done that yourself, haven't you? It's all there was to do. Yeah. We just put the iPhone up and just played into it. Yeah.
Well, everyone's got an iPhone these days. Everyone and the grandma pretty much does.
Exactly. Yes. Thank God. It wasn't like that when I first played music.
No, back then we actually were watching the whole thing. Nowadays we're kind of glued to a little blue light screen, to be honest, too. So
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
I'm guilty of it too, so I'm sorry, mate. So I guess it did feel a little weird. I guess how many people actually were there? Was there at least some people actually watching the show, or is it just strictly this little iPhone that's kind of giving you a million eyes so that everybody can watch these guys perform?
Yeah, I think we had about 100 viewers around that sort of thing. So it was kind of cool, mainly family and friends and people. So, yeah, it was good. Yeah, yeah. And they were soon there to critique.
They give you the more applause. They won't give you the harsh criticism like everybody else on the other ones.
They want to bust your chops all the time, don't they? Which is fun. It's a nice bit of banter.
Yeah, it would be something like that too. But did you have any brushes with COVID?
Yeah, I think I've had COVID about 3 times, to be honest with you. Yeah, yeah. I didn't really suffer for it. I say 2 out of the 3 times I was okay, but one time it felt like a train hit me. But only lasted like a day or 2. So I was pretty lucky, touch wood, to be honest. Yeah.
That's good to hear. And I guess first off, congratulations on the newborn. I guess how old is he or she right now?
Oh, yeah, James, he's 5 now. Yeah, he's 5. Just started school. So, yeah, running around. So me and Natalie wears us out.
He's in his young kid's days. I think when he's a teenager, he'll want to sleep in a little bit more, too. So
that's exactly right. Hope so.
That's how it normally goes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
But it's good to see you guys are doing well, too. So good to see you guys are sticking around here, too, making some pretty kick-ass music, too. So
it's very nice of you. Thank you. Yeah. It's a very good outlet, creative outlet. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure, too. So I guess, is that Slash on your shirt right there? Is he one of your big influences? Or I guess, how many more do you have?
Well, that's Keith Richards. Yeah, really major influence. I think he's probably one of the best rhythm guitarists in the world. He's touching his feel. He just makes it so easy, doesn't he? Slash, yeah, and Brian May, probably my favourite lead guitar players of all time. I think they're just great. So, yeah, they're my major influences guitar-wise, I'd say those 3. Oh, and Mick Taylor from the Stones. I thought his blues playing was absolutely phenomenal. So, yeah, I'd say those 4 guys are the ones that, yeah, guitar-wise, I wish I was as good as those, put it that way.
Yeah. Actually, I was looking at it first, thinking, like, is it really Keith Richards? Because it looks more like a Slash. Because I was thinking more like the black hair and everything, too, along the sides, making like that silhouette sort of picture.
Yeah, I think there's a very similar T-shirt to this that has Slash exactly the same pose, to be honest with you.
They get away with it these days. So it's kind of like I was going to think maybe like an illusionary sort of painting, too, or something like that, too, where it's like, it's meant to be one thing, but then it's like another thing underneath or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's all pretty cool. So I guess, here, let's do this one, too. I guess I'll talk about the gear that you guys use, too. So I guess, what do you use? And I guess, can you speak for everybody else?
Yeah, what equipment?
Yeah.
So I've got a Fender guitar, and I've got a knockoff Gibson. It's an Epiphone Les Paul Black Beauty. I can't afford the real one, to be honest with you, not with the family. And I play through a Marshall amp. That's always been my setup. Always played through that. The drummer Jack, he has a Premier drum kit with pace cymbals, all singing and dancing. Now, Dean, I believe he's got an Ibanez guitar, and he plays through Marshall amps as well. And Mike, he plays through. Yeah, I believe he's got a Fender bass amp and a Gibson bass. That's it. Yes, that was it. Epiphone bass.
That's pretty cool. And I guess, do you guys mainly play in a studio, or do you guys all get together whenever you want to record your own music?
Yeah,
like a man cave.
Yeah, we've got a rehearsal space. It's just a big lock-up, nice big room there. We've got everything set up, like the PA and all the equipment's there. So that's where we practice to make a bit of noise. But one of my friends is he's a producer. He records us, and he's been my friend for like 20 years. So I really trust him. He knows the sort of sound I'm going for. So every time we go to record, I go to him. I sort of use Cubase myself, but if I'm being absolutely honest, I don't feel that I'm good enough to actually do my own music. I can put some tracks down, but I think that's another it's another skill that I don't think I have that, to be honest with you.
Actually, you're the second one who mentioned about Cubase too. I guess, how is Cubase compared to like Reaper or Logic? And I guess, did you experiment with like any other DAWs in particular?
No, I've only ever really used Cubase, to be honest with you, because that's what my friend Benny uses. So I've used that myself, and I've got to grips with it. But I've heard of other softwares that's probably better, and I know people have given me pros and cons for each, but I haven't really experimented with them, to be brutally honest with you. Because like I said, I don't feel confident. I'm not a confident user. I might be putting myself down a bit, but I've seen what other guys can create. It's like, wow, that's amazing. So I let my friend deal with all that, to be honest. I make that his problem.
You know, that's always a problem too, especially when you want to actually get to music production or really anything involving music where you want to record it too. Everybody's always going to look at that question, what's the best DAW, that sort of thing too. So
Yeah.
at least for me, it was a little bit more price range. So I guess Cubase was pretty cheap.
Yeah. I think it was actually. Yeah, it was. Yeah, because you can pay absolutely hundreds and thousands for this software, can't you? It's like, oh my god.
Where you get plug-in after plug-in after plug-in too, and then it's like, next thing you know, are we paying for a car? Or are we paying for a computer software?
That's it, exactly, isn't it? Yes, definitely.
It's tragic, but we do things for the love of music, we should say.
Exactly. It's all worth it. Long. It's an investment, isn't it? An investment.
Yes, and also sadly no. So, because you think about it too, you want at least, you got to pay the bills. You got, now for you in particular, you got a kid to kind of deal with, and also get him through education and everything too. So.
Exactly.
And I guess speaking of which, I guess what sort of struggles and challenges you faced being a musician as well as being in a band too? Because it seems like you work multiple jobs, you got a family life and everything too. So.
Yeah, I suppose the main. So my son's autistic, very low level, nothing major, but there's additional needs that he has. So life can be challenging. I think the main challenge is we have lack of sleep, really. So me and my wife take it in turns and everything like that. But that's quite good. So when it comes to having work and then trying to do the extracurricular activities like a band practice, it can be quite tough to fit it all in. But we sort of come up with a system that works for both of us. So where Natalie can go and take some time to herself, I can get my free time as well. And we just rely on some additional family members, like the grandparents that take James off us like once a week so we can have some adult time and do our things. So a lot of shifting around things, but yeah, we certainly get there. So life's good. Challenging, but no complaints.
I guess strictly in music too, is it like marketing? Would you say it's probably a tough one, or just maybe time constraints?
Yeah, I think marketing is quite a lengthy process, isn't it? To be honest with you, I'm a little bit autistic myself, so I don't sleep very often. So once I put my son to bed and I've had some family time with Natalie, and when she goes to bed, it's usually, I don't know, between 10 and 1 o'clock in the morning. So 10 at night to 1 in the morning. That's when I do all my social media, things like that. And then I'm tired and I go. So yeah, that's how it works. It's sort of a weird thing we do, but it works for us.
So you're not doing the doom scrolling where you just scroll through Facebook and everything too, trying to see what posts you can find here and there.
Yeah.
I guess talk about autism a little bit too, because I actually do have a family member who's the autism is pretty bad. It's not severe, but it's at least bad enough where you don't get a whole lot of sleep and everything too. So I guess talk about it a little bit too. Is it just hard things trying to sleep, or is autism that hard to like explain to like other people?
Yeah, I think there's different levels of autism, isn't there? And you can be very mild to very severe. I've only just found, I've been on a bit of a journey myself, finding about my son James being autistic. My wife Natalie was reading all the symptoms is the wrong words, but criteria of somebody that shows traits of autism. Natalie was reading it and she goes, Andy, that's so you. You do all this. And it's like, really? That's why you don't sleep and everything like that. So I found out a lot of myself. I'm 48 years old and it's taken me all this time to find out that I am actually autistic. But I actually think it, for me, it's actually a blessing, because I don't want to blow my own trumpet because I don't think I'm that good. But I think music has helped me, and that's why I'm probably quite creative musically. So instead of a disadvantage, it's actually given me an advantage. So I'm actually quite blessed that I have that, to be honest.
Let's say you do know about a lot of people, like Elon Musk would be like a real good example too. Like you'll be like, that guy's autistic. And it's like, no, they just blend in. So I mean,
yeah.
At least for people who got like, in your case, like the mild symptoms, to say the least. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think I've got mild symptoms, to be honest with you. I'm more like, my son's not high functioning, whereas I am. I don't like that label, but that's what's been given to me, to be honest. But yeah, I've known loads of people that have been autistic. Like one of my friends, he says, I can't put my pants on or do my shoelaces up, but I can build you anything. And it's just like, wow, I know what I'd prefer, to be honest. So I actually think it's an advantage, really.
I'll say it's a little bit of an odd mix whenever you think about it, too. I can build you anything, but I can't get my own pants and shoelaces on. So
I know. Bad start to the day, isn't it? But apart from that, yeah, he's got a good career. So
at least you can imagine everybody in their underwear then. You can just do that sort of scenario.
That's it, isn't it? Yes.
That's all good, too. So I guess how do you deal with your autism, too? Just out of curiosity. You just mainly kind of have to like follow a specific schedule and everything, too? Or do you have to try to take it day by day?
Yeah, no, to be honest, I think I subconsciously have a routine. I wake up, I go to work, sort my son out, cook the meals, have some family time with Natalie. And when everybody's in bed, I just sit there and play the guitar and just listen to music. That's my therapy, is music, whether it's playing or listening to it. And I do that for a few hours while doing some band promotion. So, yeah, all I do is put my energy into that. And that sorts me out. It just levels me out, which is, yeah.
I guess would you say is that the main reason why you love music in general is it's therapy session, or is there other reasons you love music?
That's a really good. I've never really thought about that until you've asked that question, to be honest with you. No, I just think I love music, and I think the two just entwined, really. Yeah. I've always
we're going off the script, yeah.
Yes. That's all good. It's an interesting conversation.
Yeah. Normally people will say it is a therapy sort of session too, but more so because of the stress, because of like a long work day and stuff like that too. In your case, you have it to help with your autism and everything too. So I can see what you mean.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you have any other reasons why you love music? Just because it's loud or anything like that? Or you feel like Keith Richards when you're on stage?
Do you know what? I've just watched those guys playing live, and every time you see them, I just think it's absolutely. I've just been blown away. Whether it's like Queen, the Stones, Guns N' Roses, the Who, or Jimi Hendrix, you watch them playing, it's like, I want that. I want to do that. So I think when I saw that visually for the first time, it's like, wow, I just wanted to do it, and that's why I learned and played and tried to emulate my heroes, really.
I'd say for me, I kind of grew up during like the new metal ages.
Yeah.
That one. I don't know if there was any new metal that came out of the UK, but I know there was like Slipknot, System of a Down, those sorts of bands too. You see them like jumping all around the stage too. You think like, boy, that's a nice workout, but man, it looks fun, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Definitely.
Even though the lyrics are pretty incoherent and probably not sung the right way, but you're jumping around, you're having fun. I mean,
that's the main thing, is it? Having a good crack. That's what it's all about. Definitely. If it's not fun, there's no point doing it.
I'll say you're high on life, you're high on something too afterwards. That's one of the things you have to ask.
Exactly, yes.
But in all seriousness, too, it's good to see you are doing well too. So thanks for sharing your story there. So
no, you're welcome. Thanks for listening.
No worries. So we talked about that. I guess let's go ahead and talk about your music in general first. I guess you try to bring back that old style of like party, rock and roll, sex, drugs, rock and roll, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think I'd describe myself as like an old traditional blues player, really. I like traditional like rock and roll, I'd say. Yeah, definitely. And that's what we're trying to bring back, I'd say, definitely. I thought the guys from yesteryear did it so brilliantly, and it's just trying to emulate that, but put your own spin on it, really, yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about the lyrics. I guess, how many songs have you came out with?
I suppose we've only released probably about 8, but I've probably got about 30 ready to go that we're looking to start releasing now. So yeah, there's a good mixture in there. I sent a demo to Steve Conte. I don't know if you know the guy. He's from the New York Dolls, and he plays with Michael Monroe. I was at a Guns N' Roses concert, and I basically saw Michael Monroe and Steve Conte and all the band there. And I was really nervous, and I didn't go and get their autograph. A big stupid thing, I should have done it. No, I just messaged him when I'd had a few drinks, on Facebook, and he messaged me back, and I sent him a demo, and he said, "Oh, you should come over to the New York and come and record and all that." And I thought, "Oh, this is pretty cool." So I got some validation there. After I had that chat with him, I decided, right, let's go and release all my material and get it out there. So he gave me some great advice. Actually, it was. Try and write different styles, different tempo tracks, and it was a real good life lesson from that guy, really. So yeah, he taught me quite a bit, really, in such a short time.
Is Michael Monroe, I guess, so what's his strictly profession? Is he like a studio engineer or something, or is he help out with Guns N' Roses marketing and everything else?
He was the lead singer of Hanoi Rocks. And then when the guy passed away, he just went solo. So, yeah, he was quite big on the LA scene in the 80s. Yeah. I think he's the originator of the hair bands, wasn't he?
I think it's a hair metal. I don't know if glam metal was actually the same thing or whether that was just something that came along a little bit later.
Yeah. But he's very cool. Very cool.
I think the problem is I think they got overshadowed by the Bay Area thrash scene because obviously you had Metallica, Slayer, and all those other guys.
Yeah. 100%. Yes.
So sadly, the guy, I don't hear too much about his story, but it does seem interesting too. So I guess what was he doing? Was he like the first show and then Guns N' Roses was the headliner?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. They were the support act. Yeah, and they were just literally a stone's throw away from it. It's like, but yeah, I got stage fright and I just couldn't go up to them. That's why I chickened out and just messaged him privately. Yeah, but really nice people, by the way. Really nice. Yeah.
That's good because I mean, normally when you meet like people who are like that sort of famous, you don't know how they're going to act. They're probably going to be like nicest person whenever they're doing the little speeches or anything like that too. Privately, it's in like, oh my gosh, this guy's a real dick or something.
Yeah. No, I can safely say all of them are very cool guys and very welcoming. And I wasn't disappointed when I met my heroes, put it that way. So that was nice.
That's pretty good. I guess where'd you see Guns N' Roses? Was this in London?
Yeah, it was London. Yeah.
How was it, by the way?
Cleaned up. Axl's voice. He had a bit of an issue with his throat, so he couldn't sing all the high notes. So we had to sing in a baritone. But again, completely cleaned up, to be honest. Yeah, very good. Very good. Enjoyed that.
I think I did know a friend of mine who actually did. When they came close to Pittsburgh, PA, that's where the city I hail from. And she had actually taken some videos, too. I guess they were singing Mr. Brownstone. And I think you can just tell. It's like, he's not the same as he used to be. But I think the drugs and everything else probably played a role in it, too.
Yes, exactly. I remember I saw them for the first time in '92 in London as well. Yeah, that was amazing. I think I was only like 16, 17, something like that. Yeah, that was a very good Use Your Illusion tour. That was very good.
Must have sounded pretty badass. I guess they do a lot of their songs from Appetite of Destruction.
Yes. Yeah. It's a shame really what happened to them because they was going to go on a similar sort of journey as the Stones. I thought it'd just be very eclectic albums, but they all went a bit belly up for them, didn't it?
I guess so, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So
yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool. And I know you mentioned about the social media earlier too. I guess what's your social media you're on, and I guess what do you hope to achieve with each one of those?
Social media, yes, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I really like the Facebook social media outlet actually at the moment. I think that's quite fun. I'm in a real good community of musicians and everyone's really friendly, welcoming. You can bounce ideas off each other, do collaborations. So at the moment, I'd say I'm getting more from Facebook than anywhere else, which surprises me because I thought it was a bit of a dinosaur, archaic form of social media because it's been around the longest. But actually, I'm finding it the most productive. I'm getting quite a lot out of more than I thought I would, to be honest. So I thought Instagram was overtaking it, but I seem to have more connections on Facebook than I do anywhere else. So that for me is really working. And it's getting me on playlists as well. So my music's getting out there. We're creating our own playlists. We're trading off each other. So yeah, it's a good bit of fun, really.
Yeah, that's what Duke Stir and I guess all the other little podcast shows are kind of doing these days.
That's yes, 100%.
Before we jump into that, I guess, what do you hope to achieve with your social media and as well as your music too?
To be honest, my music, I just do it all for fun now. Like back in the day, I was a semi-professional musician trying to make money, trying to be famous. To be honest, now it's just about having fun. So what I'm trying to do now is get my music out there, but also I'm trying to raise money for like a kids charity in the UK. So all my royalties, all the merchandise, all the money we make, it all goes to those guys. So there's no pressure. It's just having a good time. So I get the good enjoyment out of playing the music and making the music, but other people are going to get the rewards of any money we make. So it's like I'm giving something back because I've had a great life, really. I'm very blessed. So it's nice to give something back to the community.
Good man. I guess what sort of charity is this? Is this like for people who have autism or is it?
Yeah, it's a disabled kids charity. So they've got varying ailments, to be honest with you. And Yeah, those guys need a lot of money. So if you like one of our gigs, it'll raise £1,000, and that will really help them on like taking about 30 kids out for the day. It's just like, wow, things like me and you would probably take for granted. So yeah, it's just good to see a smile on those guys' faces, you know.
That's a good man. Actually, I do remember a friend of mine. I interviewed him a while back. He's out of Bath, or I guess however the UK pronounces it too. But his name's Ash Wells. He does a little charity, something similar. It's called Stepping Stones. Have you heard about that charity?
I do actually. Yeah.
He does it for his son, yeah. And then we also, every now and again, we do maybe a little drum collaboration kind of in honor of the Stepping Stones charity. And I guess whatever sort of donations go to it, it goes to that charity. So.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, excellent.
You guys are doing some good in the world. So thank you so much for doing that.
No, I think it's nice when like-minded people do that. So yeah, and I'm sure everyone's grateful for the work you do. There's some nice people out there. It's good to see.
They don't get as much airtime as the ones who tend to blabber a whole lot, or maybe do a lot of drama and stuff like that too.
Yeah, we don't do drama.
That's good because we got too much of it these days. So
yeah, I agree. No, it's good.
All right. And I guess when you guys create a song first, do you guys do the music first and then lay the vocals down, or do you do it vice versa, right? The lyrics first and then music?
That's a really good question, actually. It works both ways, to be honest. Sometimes I can be sat there and I can just be playing the guitar and come up with a tune or a melody, and it's great. Other times I can just be sat there or out somewhere, and then I get this idea of some lyrics or a melody, but I'm humming to myself, and it's just like, so usually I would say the music comes first, then I put the lyrics on. I'd say 9 times out of 10 that is the case, but sometimes if I don't have the instrument and I'm out and I get an idea, then it's like, oh no, then I have to get my phone and then sing down, record what I've sung and then put it to the music a bit later.
Yeah, it's once again the beauty of the iPhones too. You're able to just record your own voice, just bring it up here and be like, Siri, do this whole thing, sort of thing. So
yeah, exactly that. Yeah, and it works. Yeah.
I guess what inspires your lyrical content too, because the funny thing about it's more my mom's fault, to be honest, too, because she watches a lot of British crime drama where it's like taking place, maybe some in Ireland, some in Scotland, and all in around the UK too. First off, you guys got a lot of crime going on. What is going on over there? So
a bad place.
Apparently, but I guess what inspires your lyrical content too? Was there any sort of shows, or is it like something else?
Yeah, I base them on real life things that happen around me, real life experience. I think most of our songs are quite positive with a positive outlook and things like that. So I don't try to write songs that are negative or depressing, but I do try and write about real life things. So it could be my son, it could be my wife, past experiences, work, things that I'm seeing day to day. A lot of stuff passes through you, doesn't it? You just got to capture it and then put it down. If that makes sense.
It's almost like doing the fishing rod, the little thing. Just throw the bait out there to see which one grabs first.
It's exactly that. Yes, too right. Yes.
It's like, oh, it's a mother right here. Just pull it back and everything.
Exactly. It's just really annoying because when you get something in your head, you think, oh, I've got to write this down before I forget it. Because if you don't, well, I always forget. I've got a brain like a sieve half the time.
Yeah, I know what you mean too. Sometimes it works, and sometimes you just need a breather just to like step away. Exactly. Or maybe let's just jam and just see where it goes. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what you mean. I know to go back to social media earlier, but when did you join the Band Together group on Facebook?
I think that was probably in the last couple of months, very recently. I realized I needed to up what I was doing. And then I can't remember who it was. Somebody got me onto that group. And then as soon as I got on that group, it just exploded. It was insane. So, yeah, and I've met some really interesting people there, like yourself and some other people in bands and everything like that. So, yeah, it's a real nice, close-knit community. It's great.
I was going to say thanks for the shout-out, because I guess you were also congratulating people who were starting to follow you on your Fraz band page on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're shouting at everybody we work with 100%. Where we've had so much support as well, we like 100% to give that back. Totally. So, yeah. It's brilliant.
That's all good. And I guess for the next question right here, so what sort of advice would you give to musicians in our little Facebook corner of the universe, as we like to call it?
Do you know what? I always think music's about having fun, isn't it? As long as you're enjoying it, you're enjoying your craft, you believe in yourself, you believe in what you're doing, and you're having fun, don't think anything else really matters, to be honest. I think you've got to get yourself, as long as you're getting self-pleasure from what you're doing, it doesn't matter, to be honest. I'm a firm believer of that.
I would say if it's nice to pay the gas bill, because I don't know how bad gas is over in the UK right now. Because you guys go by liter, right?
That's right. Yeah, all the bills have gone crazy now. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, gas has gone through the roof. Mad.
So we have said if it covers the gas bill, then we're at least happy about that.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's all good, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. One would hope. Eventually, if we get to that point. Of course, you got to go back to the whole marketing deal again. You got to at least know what you're doing there. Yeah. And actually, is this your first interview, or have you got an interview on any other podcast shows that come out? Because I think there's Keltsache, and then I think there's Duke Star podcast who does all that stuff.
Yeah, no, this is the first time. Can't you tell? That's my first one. I was really excited about it, to be honest, but a bit nervous. But no, yeah, it's really good. Really good. I think it's a really good idea what you're doing.
Thank you. And actually, did they share your music on because I know we were talking about the playlist earlier, I guess. Has your music appeared on any of their playlists yet?
Yes, it has. Yeah, we've been really blessed. It's as soon as we joined that community, we're on loads of people's playlists now. It's like, oh my God, yeah, honestly, it's just gone through the roof at the moment. So it's really, really good. Yeah, we're quite lucky that people are encouraging us. They're wanting our music on their playlist. So yeah, we're very blessed.
Have you guys thought about doing any collabs yet, or are you kind of waiting to see what happens next?
Yeah, I want to do some collabs. Yeah, 100%. I'm just trying to put some ideas together, and then I'm going to try and find some guys that might be interested. So that's work in progress at the moment. Yeah, 100%.
It'll be nice to see that too. So we'll wait what happens. We'll see what happens. So
yeah, I'll keep you posted.
Okay. So Andy, we briefed through the questions here pretty good. We're already down to the fun ones. So I guess let's go ahead and hop into it.
Here we go.
All right. So let's start with the first one right here, I guess. So what would you consider is your favorite food?
Chinese food, 100%, yeah.
The Chinese guy. You like the General Tso's, or is there like a specific sort of Chinese food that you like?
Yeah, I like the starters to begin with. And I don't know if you have it over there, but we have like the aromatic duck and the pancakes. Love that. And then, I quite like beef and oyster sauce, lemon chicken, that type of thing. So, yeah. I could just have it all on one plate, to be honest. But it's not good for the waistline. That's the problem.
Yeah, a little too much grease and butter, to be honest. So
yeah.
I would say my dad always gets lo mein too, but I've always done like the General Tso's and just mix it in with the rice as well, and to make like my own little artificial chicken fried rice, to be honest.
Nice. Yeah, it's a good shout. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We did that too, but then there was also these little, I shouldn't say little, because they were like crab ragoons, but they were like in the shape of pyramid colored triangles, to be honest. So
okay, yeah.
Could use a little bit more crab in the middle there, but it's still pretty good nonetheless. So
excellent.
I would say the other one was like a sweet and sour chicken, which I never really used the sauce. I just ate the chicken. So
yeah. You can't go wrong with the Chinese. It's all great, isn't it? Really.
You pretty much got a plethora of food that you can have right there. So
yeah,
all at a reasonable price too. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah. Too right.
All right. So this next one is a question I always like to throw in here too. Actually, it's a new one I've recently brought up too, because
okay,
it's called which one do you prefer, ranch or blue cheese?
Oh, what's ranch cheese? Sorry.
You got ranch, which is just like the dipping sauces, and then you have blue cheese, which is another one too.
Oh,
so it's almost like dipping sauces that you use for like wings or dip anything else like celery.
Yeah, it'd be ranch. Yeah, definitely.
We got a ranch guy. Yay!
Boom. So, happy days.
Actually, it was a friend of mine who he's not a football coach, not American football, I should say, too, because I know everybody mixes up the football in like the other parts of Europe. So he's an American football coach for like a high school team. Yeah. And he always brings it up on Facebook, too, like blue cheese is greater than ranch. And then some of us have to remind him, like, get the F out of here, that sort of thing, too. So
I was going to say, yeah, we've got no time for blue cheese, no.
Is there that we do like the UK sort of style, like, oh, fuck off, mate, that sort of thing.
Yeah, too right, yeah. Excellent, yeah.
All right, so that's all good. For the next one right here, I guess, what would you consider is your favorite movie? Or if you got a whole lot of favorite movies, list your top 3.
Mm, yeah, okay. So I quite like the spaghetti westerns, like Fistful of Dollars. I quite like the Star Wars trilogies, the original ones, and I'm a bit geeky. I quite like Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan.
Khan.
I love that film, honestly, love it. Oh yeah. And I like Quentin Tarantino films as well. You can't go wrong with those, can you?
No, you cannot. I always love Quentin Tarantino because his are definitely over the top at times, but man, he always delivers on them. That's the funny thing about it.
Yes, definitely.
I guess so which spaghetti westerns? Because those ones always ran for like 2 or 3 hours, right?
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's the Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More, and Good, Bad, the Ugly. I just love those trilogies. I think they're absolutely brilliant. Goes on in them, do they? But yeah, very clever films. Great.
They always drag out the action films, or when they do the Mexican standoffs, those sorts of scenes.
They do, don't they? Yes. Yeah. No, I've always been drawn to them.
I was trying to remember Clint Eastwood was, I think he was in a couple of them. Otherwise, I think he went off on his own and did like Unforgiven or like those other ones as well. Or actually, my dad, he really loved the outlaw Josie Wells.
Yeah, that's what yes. Yeah, no, they are classic films, classics.
They do drag out, as I would say, but I guess it's totally worth it in the end, too. So, good choices. I guess, which Quentin Tarantino film would you say is your favorite?
That's a very good question. Do you know what? I always thought it was Pulp Fiction, but after I've seen, is it Inglourious Bastards? I think that's a great film. Absolutely great film. So I think I'd have to go for that one at the moment, yeah.
There's like one thing we're going to be doing here. Killing Nazis.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, so what's your favorite Tarantino film?
It's definitely Pulp Fiction. As much as I respect like the other works that he's done,
yeah,
Pulp Fiction always still holds a place in my heart too. In fact, you would know it too because I actually have a Pulp Fiction little poster in my room where you're seeing Mia and John Travolta dancing. So
nice, excellent.
So respect him and I love him, but I think Pulp Fiction, as old as it is, since it came out in the 90s, it's still number one in my heart. So
that was my first Tarantino film I saw. That was, yeah.
You know what it was? And then I went back and I actually saw Reservoir Dogs, which was actually his very first film too. And think like, damn, that guy just cut his ear off right there. That's pretty freaky.
Yeah, it's grim, isn't it? Yeah. No, classic film. That is classic.
It's a grisly world out there. So, all right. For the next question right here, I guess, first off, do you drink by any chance?
Yes. Alcohol?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Normally, I always like to ask carefully because sometimes people have like given up on drinking, and sometimes they at least drink in moderation too. Because there's at least been that bad story where they kind of fell into a deep dark hole, for instance, and then they got themselves sober again. To be honest, in a metaphorical sense, is talking about. So, I guess. I'm sorry. I was going to say, go ahead. What's your favorite alcoholic drink, and then what's your favorite non-alcoholic drink?
So my favorite alcoholic drink is probably. There's a red wine that's made by a winemaker called Christian Patat. And it's a nice full-bodied red wine from Italy. It's amazing. So that's probably my favorite one. Or there's a white wine called Chablais, and I quite like that. I think they're my favorite too. Soft drink-wise, Coca-Cola every time. It's got to be done.
They do both Coke and Pepsi in the UK.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
I always tend to think in the States, the farther south you go, the more Pepsi products they have.
Oh, really?
That's my theory too, because I know at some restaurants we stopped along the way whenever we were traveling south by car.
Yeah.
It seemed like any restaurant we stopped in was always like, whenever we asked for a Coke, to be like, Pepsi, okay? Like thinking like, man, Pepsi must have a presence in the deep south here. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say, is it kind of the same way in the UK, or do you guys try to mix it up? From your experience, I should say.
Depends on what pub chain owns what. I think it's probably quite an even split, to be honest with you. To be fair, it depends what pub. We've got like breweries that own all these pubs, and they can only sell certain drinks, so it's either Pepsi or Coke. So I'd say it's probably a 50-50 split, to be honest.
Fair enough. All right, that's all cool. And I guess for lots of the fun questions right here, what would you consider is your favorite song or a song you've been listening to a good bit recently?
I'd have to say my favourite song is, well, It's either Somebody to Love by Queen or Paradise City by Guns N' Roses. I think those two songs just blow me away every time. So, yeah, I'd have to give that a dual answer if that was okay. Unless you're calling me into one, then I'd have to probably pick Paradise City. Because it just
Paradise City, especially when you start jumping into the solo and everything too, where Slash does his thing. So
let's go for Paradise City. Yeah, we'll stick with that. Yeah,
good choice. And I would say, at least in terms of Queen too, you got a good number to choose from too. But I think the one that always got me going was Stone Cold Crazy.
Yeah, it's a hell of a tune, isn't it? Yeah, it's a beast. And I quite like playing Tie Your Mother Down as well. That blows the cobwebs off the amplifier.
Or Flat Bottom Girls too. They said, "Get on your bikes and ride."
Yeah, exactly. What a back catalogue, eh? It's crazy.
I don't know why, but anytime I hear that little part come up right here, I always be like, "Get on your bikes and ride," that sort of thing. Do like a little rodeo style.
Nice. Yeah, like it.
All right. So that does it there for the fun questions. And Andy, we've kind of reached the end right here. We're down to one more question.
Okay.
I guess first off, did you have any questions for me or any final words you want to say before we jump into it?
No, I just want to say thank you ever so much for the opportunity. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I've really been looking forward to it. So, again, thanks for the opportunity. I hope I've done okay for you, really, because I say it's the first time I've done anything like this. So I hope you've got something out of what we've done here.
Yeah, and despite the little slow start in the beginning there right there, too, with my computer acting funny and everything.
Okay.
It's all good. All right. So, but Andy, here's how the final question goes, too. And you might have touched on it a little bit, too, but here's how it goes. Mm-hmm. Given what COVID has done, obviously, it seems you've been pretty blessed. Have a kid, and then obviously have a good family life and everything too. Kept a job, obviously doing a nice little rock band and everything. I guess for those who have been impacted pretty badly by COVID, whether musicians or just regular people in general too, what sort of message of hope could you give to musicians and people out there as we try to move forward in a post-COVID world?
Well, I'd say somebody like me, I think you've touched on it yourself. I've sort of just surrounded myself with musicians, like-minded people. I think just like having a chat with yourself, having a chat with other people online. There's other people out there with you that can support you who are going through exactly the same thing. And I wouldn't say it's a therapy group, but it is a therapy group, isn't it? Because you're talking through it. You don't think you're in one, but you are in one. So subconsciously, you're in a therapy group with like-minded people. You all lift yourself. You can soundboard off of each other, vent your frustrations, and then come out the other side happy. I think that's what you need to do, is mix with like-minded people and support each other and talk about what your problems are. Don't be afraid. The more you talk, I think other people you open up to will give you advice from their own experiences. And I think that's the way forward. So there's certainly plenty of hope out there, definitely. I think you just need to have those conversations with the right people.
Spoken like a true prodigy, as Quentin Tarantino would say.
Thank you.
Actually, that was more Harvey Keitel who said the line too, but I don't know if Quentin Tarantino wrote that line. So
we'll go with that, yeah.
You know what I mean. So it's all good. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I guess, Andy, we reached the end of my podcast right here. And I guess in order to close it out too, I guess let's give you a little promotion time. So what sort of music you got, and I guess what venues and pubs are you going to be playing at this year and beyond?
So we're going to be playing the Stamford Corn Exchange. We play there. We've got a residency that we play there 6 times a year, every 2 months. We're playing some festivals in around Peterborough and Brighton, which is on the south coast of London. So, yeah, we've got quite a bit. So basically watch our Facebook and social media pages. Everything's getting promoted on there soon, along with our new music that we're releasing probably April, May time. So watch this space. There's a lot happening with the Fraz band.
Yeah, any goals and plans for this year? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, you finish.
I was going to say, you got any other goals and plans for the year?
Yeah, 100%. We're working with social media influencers, and they're going to be promoting our merchandise. So we've got some guys and girls that are going to be wearing our T-shirts, or the hats and everything like that. All that money goes towards the kids' charity, so that's really good. Another thing we're doing. So we're doing a Queen tribute gig as well for the charity, and that's going to be real fun. I mean, not fun learning all the songs because they're bloody difficult, to be honest with you. But how silly chops has got to sing them. I don't know why I signed up for it, but we like a challenge. So yeah, it's really, really exciting time. So yeah, hopefully people will look at our social media that are not based in the UK and, you know, come along for the ride. A lot of fun's happening with the Fraz band.
I wanted to pause because I thought you were going to say something else right there. I didn't want to interrupt. So
No, you're fine.
And just last thing too, I know you mentioned about your social media earlier. So just for the audience sake, can you just say what social media you're on, or what do you have, like your own website, and what sort of streaming platforms are you on?
Yeah, so we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. We're also on Amazon Music. We're on iTunes, and we're on Spotify, so you can find us all there, all ready to stream.
I'll say, what do you make of the Twitter being called X now instead of Twitter?
I can't get my head around that, to be honest with you. But I'm a dinosaur, so
I prefer to stick to the old ways, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like change.
At least this sort of change. We should say that.
How are you finding it anyway? Are you okay with it being called Twitter, or no, X now? Sorry.
I don't care.
I like that. Yeah.
So I think at everybody's heart it's still Twitter at heart, but I mean, that's right. They did change it because I thought they still kept the little Tweety bird or the blue bird that was still on it. I think now they put like the big X in front of it too.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Apparently, they pissed off some hippies in San Francisco because I think they had to take the big bright X down from one of the buildings right there.
Oh no, not good.
Yeah, what can you do? All right. So everyone, my guest today was Andy Fraser, hailing from the UK right here. He's part of the rock band, the Fraz band. So make sure you go check him out. And if you guys see this bloke right here in the UK, go check him out. Go support his music too. He's doing some good for the charity out there. And I guess, is there a link people can go to donate any money to this charity?
Yes, there is. If you go into Little Miracles Charity UK, all that, you can just donate from there.
All right, sounds good. You heard from this guy right here too. So, Andy, I want to thank you again so much again for coming on. Stay safe. Rock on. God bless you, man. And stay tuned, y'all.
Thanks, Brian. Nice to meet you. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.